I first got interested in complexity and looking at things in a different way when I was teaching at the University of Cincinnati in 1999. I had been out of finishing my doctorate for just 1 year, and actually was teaching for the first time in my whole career because I had always been in hospitals as a staff nurse, a clinical nurse specialist, and a nursing manager. And I find myself teaching, trying to write grants to get money to take my dissertation focus, which was on hope in women with breast cancer, and take that to a more diverse population, which is what we always do, right? We have to make it more diverse because all of our participants in our first studies were white, middle class, or upper class, and so that was my normal route. Well, the dean from the College of Nursing at UC comes over to me and says, you know, we really need somebody to form a relationship with these people at the VA in Cincinnati because they've just been funded with a lot of money from the VHA National to open a patient safety center. And she was actually asking several faculty to do this. She picked me for no other reason that she wanted somebody to go, and that was the only reason. So here I am focused on very specific and quantitative study on hope in women with breast cancer, and I go over and meet Dr. Marga Render, who is the director and is currently the director of that patient safety center, and she talks to me about the work they're doing on human factors and work complexity and the impact that has on patient safety. So I'm still, you know, shaking my head and trying to be very pleasant and, you know, for the dean to meet these people. And she hands me their grant application that they had been funded for to open a patient safety center. And the whole grant is based on work complexity, human factors, and why things don't go the way we intend for them to go. So she sends me home with it after spending about an hour talking, mostly her, and I loved her by the end of it. I just loved her personality. I go home and read it, and by the time I got finished reading it, I had made the decision to change my whole research focus. And the phrase that I often use in my head or when I'm talking to people about the story is, where had these people been all of my nursing career? Because for 28 years, I had been working in healthcare and doing what I knew to be what you do when things go wrong or don't go the way they should, which is all the old methods we had about telling people to do it right next time and educating them and then thinking that that's what would happen. And now they had a whole scientific base based on human factors and also complex adaptive systems to explain, according to science, why things don't always go the way they should go. And it just blew me away. So here, all my passion that had been in nursing up until that point, and all the concerns and questions that I had and the frustrations, I had renewed hope about we can do something better and a foundation on which to build it. So from that point on, gave up all the grant applications that I had to extend my dissertation and started working with the Patient Safety Center in Cincinnati in work that completely was based on complex adaptive systems. Now, the interesting thing is when I tell people that story and when they look at my work now, they think they'll say I'm a patient safety expert. And I'm not a patient safety expert. Patient safety is huge. I mean, it has many parameters to it. But the whole reason I worked with them in the first place was not for the patient safety part, although I'm about patient safety, of course. It was about they had a theoretical framework that I would be able to use to do research and to help other people understand what nursing work is and therefore have a scientific basis in how to articulate that to other people. because I had learned as a nursing manager that just going into the finance guy and saying, we need more help, it's busy out there, just didn't cut it. So that for me was what got me excited about it and why I continue to be interested in complex adaptive systems, human factors, and that whole area.